Hey y'all, Big Wooly here, and welcome back to episode 29 of our FTB Skies Expert Let's Play. Behind me, you're going to see a setup that's supposed to make polyethylene. I've actually recorded the opening twice, but without further ado, I'll get into the explanations on why that is. Okay, so we need polyethylene. So I told you guys I was going to try and make a list. It's actually written on an envelope sitting here on my desk, just a piece of mail I had. The thing that we're working on right now for going to space. I don't know that we're making it to space today. We've just got a ton of prep work to do. We need the fuel, we need all the parts to make all the rocket parts. It is probably going to take us an episode, maybe even two, to get through it all. This piece here, we're going to need a total of 103.5 buckets of liquid polyethylene for making our space plating blocks. We need 207 of them, and it takes 1 bucket per 2 blocks. So, 207 divided by 2, 103.5 is how much we need. Now, I've made this twice because I had an oversight the first time and thought that I needed to make this yeast culture stuff that we're doing right here in order to combine it later on. What I really should have done is just taken the same ethylene setup we have over there where we feed it the spider's eye and sugar, and it spits it back out into a centrifugal separator, and we kind of cycle that and add sugar as needed because the oversight is right here. This yeast culture, in order to work, needs to be between 30 and 60 C. And if we look up heat sources, the only heat source that I see for this is liquid sulfur trioxide will maintain a 45 C temperature. That's the only thing I see that is a steady 45 C that's right in the middle of what we need. Everything else is either over or under, so you have to find a way to remove your insulation. So this will run for a little while. If I take this off and it gets down, the blaze burner with nothing in it is definitely too hot. With insulation on all 4 sides, and if you're missing insulation, then it's too cold and stays at 23 C. So what we're going to have to do to make this work until we can get to that liquid sulfur trioxide, which we're going to need some mechanism machines for, we're going to just, as ugly as it'll be, I'm going to set up another one of those mixer setups right back up here, tie it into our same controller, which this is just another compressor we made with a diesel generator. I'm piping force and fuse directly in from our tank over there. And so it will be infinitely fed with fuel from our fuel setup, which we've already gone over. And then I should be able to take a mixer off of here and get us set up right here in the vicinity of our aqueous accumulator, and then just bring a pipe over and tie into the ethanol right there. And we can dump that ethanol into there. It's not going to be the most ideal of setups, but it should work to get us the buckets that we need for today. So you guys have seen that set up already, so I'm going to pause right here, get it set up, and I'll show you it working. So here we have it, same little setup as before. I just need a centrifugal separator right here, and it can pull from this drawer and push to that one to recycle our spider's eye for us. So I'll get that made in between episodes and get it automated. And then once we get to our sulfur trioxide liquid, once we can get a chemical oxidizer, we'll put 1 square of sulfur trioxide right here. That'll hold this machine the right temperature, and then everything will actually end up being automated at that point for us, rather than us having to do any of it by hand. And it will be great. We'll be making as much polyethylene as we need. We're going to need a lot of this going forward for this space plating block. So with that 4 times repeating craft recipe for all of our space plating block, you're going to need exponentially more each tier of rocket we move up. But as you can see, right now that we're supplying it ethylene, it's coming in pretty quick. We're just crushing some sulfur dust right here in the pulverizer, feeding the sulfur dust that we're getting from sifting into a drawer up there. And then that is making the ethanol into liquid ethylene, and then we're combining that with latex from our latex farm over there. I need to set up 1 more fluid transporter, and I'm going to pump the latex from our main base area into this tank right here, and then that tank will be full of latex at all times. And this is our setup for the ethylene, and we will need to come by every so often and feed this blaze burner. I do not have an automated setup here for the blaze burner yet, but it is definitely something we can look into in the future, is how to keep the blaze burner running because we need that temperature range of above 227. There's probably a couple of other methods we could use to keep that thing that hot. So if I see something that would be easier or more automated in the long run, I will share it with you guys when I find it. But for now, to get us where we need to be, I am going to just feed it with coal, and that should let us get close to the amount of polyethylene we need. So this machine here is just a fluid mixer, doesn't require any temperature, just requires pressure, which we're getting from a compressor we made over there. And you can hear the little safety valve to keep us from blowing our machines up. Right here is a phytogenic insulator with a cyclical upgrade in it, and it is growing brown mushrooms, which will make our yeast culture. So eventually, once we have the right heat source for this middle machine right here, this whole setup is automated. Everything we need will be right here in it. We'll have to get some sugar being piped into here from like an ender tank, and I'll go over that when we get there. But we're gonna change out this drawer. This should definitely get us to where we can get enough of the polyethylene today to get through our space plating block. But space plating block is just the beginning. We're going to need a ton of other ingredients. I will either take a picture of my handwritten sheet or try to do better and get it like on a spreadsheet or put it on screen to give you guys just an idea of just how much material we're gonna need to make our rocket. So on to the next thing. Let's get set up to make this space plating block. And as I did tell you in the last episode, I didn't lie. I said I would get enough space plating made, but now we have to take these and we have to convert this space plating into a space plating block with this little create setup. So I'm going to head over to the create island. I'm going to get our spout and all set up so that we can move that tank of polyethylene over. And once I have that all set up, I'll bring you guys back, show you what we got working, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I grabbed all of the steel sheet metal that we should need for our 207 space plating blocks we need for making our rocket. I also grabbed all of the space plating that I made in between this episode and the last episode. So here is our setup. We've got right here where the space plating is going to go. We're going to toss all that in. That's actually more than we should need for the process, but we're going to need a few extra when we go to do the miniaturization crafting of the rocket pieces. So then because we need 207 space plating block, the root of all of them is a steel sheet metal that gets to get processed 4 times. So we need 207 of those. We got 211 right here. So we will take 4 off, and the rest we're going to put into this barrel. This barrel's got an andesite funnel. Our first hand now has the space plating sheet. Our drawer for polyethylene's right here, and the press is right there. This should roll through, put them in that barrel on the end, and then we will rinse and repeat 4 times. So let's see how it goes. There we have it. This is going to take a while to process 200 of these, so I will not make you guys watch the whole thing. But I will just grab the stacks from the end, put them back at the beginning, and do that 4 times. See you guys on the other side. All right, first pass through complete. Let's go for round number 2. All right, so working on the list of things we're gonna need other than the 82 bajillion space plating blocks, we're gonna need for our engine, we need a compressed air engine. The only thing in here that we haven't done together is this engine rotor, but we have made the turbine blades, and a steel block is quite literally just, steel. So let's make one of these real quick to get ready for our next pieces of the puzzle. Space is complicated, y'all. Getting to space is hard in this pack. So there we have it. That is our compressed air engine that we need for our rocket engine. One other thing we're going to need, I'm just looking at the list I have handwritten out. Hopefully I figure out a way to get that on screen for you guys so you can pause and take a look at it and be like, oh God, no, I'm not ready to go to space. We're going to need a lightning rod for the nose cone. So we're going to grab that. And then I'm just trying to go down the list here of like kind of one-off things that we need. We need a lightning rod, check. We need where did I have that? Compressed air engine, check. Dynamic tanks. So this is something we haven't made, but we are going to need 54 dynamic tanks. 54. You heard me right. Yes, 54. So this dynamic tank consists of a bucket, which means we're going to need, there's 4 in here, so 54 divided by 4, 13 and a half crafts. So we need 14 buckets. Let's make 14 buckets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14. Okay, so there is our 14 buckets. Now we should be able to make 56 dynamic tanks. Oh god, there's something keybound that keeps taking my focus. I gotta figure that out. 56, there we go, just like I said. So now we can check that off. We're gonna need 24 hardened glass, but I think we still have that in storage from when we crafted hardened glass the first time. Let's check. Yep, we do. So we've got the hardened glass covered. Conveniently, there's an empty chest right here. Let's start putting these pieces in it as they get completed. Oh no, this has finished. Must move it along. Are you empty yet, tank? Nope, you're not. Okay. Pass number 3. Oh, I put a diesel engine here and put it on force-infused biodiesel just to speed it up because these were just too slow. We'll leave them here for looks and to remember our routes, but yeah, they can stay. So, what else is on the list? We've got our hardened glass. We need 4 radiator blocks. So let's see what those take. Radiator block. Okay. How many did I say we need? We need 4? Cool. It feels like we needed more. No, we definitely only needed 4. Remember that now. Okay, because the radiator block is for the engine. So, yep. Okay. So we can mark that off. It looks like in all of the multi-block pieces, we are only going to need 1 redstone engineering block, 5 light engineering blocks. So we've made those before. Let's see if we've got the materials. Well, if we only need 1 redstone engineering total, then we've got that. Boop. And then light engineering, I have on the list 5. And these come in sets of 4, so we're gonna have to make 2 sets, which means we need more iron sheet metal. So if we only need 5, we'll put 3 back in storage, put the 5 in this chest, and we check it off the list. So redstone engineering, light engineering. What do we need? Heavy engineering blocks, the ones that take steel. By my math, we need 25 of those. So that's going to be a megaton of steel. We've got a good bit. Let's see. Heavy engineering blocks. Oh, yeah, no. So 25, 5 times 4 is 20, 6 times 4 is 24, 7 times 4 is 28. So we need 7 sets of these, and we don't have any steel mechanical components, so 7 times 4 is also 28. So we need 28 steel components, which is 2 plate and 1 copper per. So 27 is 54. So we need 54 steel plates and 27 copper ingots. Steel plate, there's 32, 40, 48, 54. And then copper, we need 27. So we can just grab out a half stack. Ooh, we're running low on copper. Ain't got time to make the crusher crush all this, so let's just go toss a ton of copper in the smelter real quick. And that'll get us some copper coming out. We do have a bunch of steel in here. Oh, we have some copper in there too. Nice. All right, let's go restock our biodiesel setup with stuff. That can go in there. It's fully backed up again. Very nice. Okay, and then let's go back up to the surface. Put all this steel in here. Put all that copper in. Let's head to our storage. Come over here to our engineer's workbench. Toss it in. Shift click it out. There we go. 27, right? No, it's 28 we needed. Dang it. Learn to math, Wooly. How many of you were already telling me, Wooly, you can't math? So we put 2 more in there, and that gets us our 28 that we're going to need. So now, heavy engineering blocks. We're missing steel sheet metal. And so they take 4 per. We're just going to shift click that out, and I don't think that's enough, but we shall see. Yep, not enough. What did we run out of in the middle there? What is the middle piece? Overcharged iron. So compressed iron in the Energizer. Luckily, I made some more compressed iron. Okay, let's go we're going to overcharge this whole stack. Let's take some other iron and compress it too, since we'll have the pressure running. So iron. Let's just do 2 stacks of iron too. This is what I do off camera, but I want to share some of it with you guys because it's to be honest, it's a lot of work. I have fun. I'm having fun playing Minecraft. I hope you guys kind of enjoy seeing the behind the scenes. This is a lot of what I do in between episodes, but for this space piece, I figure it's important to share it with you guys because in your worlds, it's going to be a lot of work too, and I don't want you to have some kind of false idea that it's not going to take a crazy amount of time, because even if you automate all this stuff from the beginning, some of it is just simply time. You have to let things run long enough in your world to build up the resources you need. Like right here, I need to deal with cinnabar and quartz, but I have got to make some more obsidian. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just stuffing it in my storage and making it a problem for later Wooly. Is that the right answer? No. Does it keep me moving so I can get a video out for you guys? 1000% yes. So we're just waiting on this compressed iron to energize here. Our magnet setup is actually doing great. We'll get some more overcharged electrum made and convert some more of these in between episodes, but this is working out fantastic for RF generation for us right now, which is huge. Absolutely huge. Very, very excited about that. So this setup here is... Are we still making stuff? Yeah, we're still making ethanol. We'll listen to it go psh. We're waiting on that overcharged iron or our heavy engineering blocks. 25 of them by my math that we'll need. Okay, y'all. Overcharged iron finished. Now we have our 28 heavy engineering blocks, made up some extra compressed iron ingots for when we need them, toss those in storage. So I'm looking through the list, and I thought that maybe time was going to be limited today, and we weren't going to get to potentially try to go to space. Now, I do still need to build us a spaceport and set up the miniaturization crafting. It's going to take a minute. We definitely need to swap this out because we've run out of polyethylene. But it looks like that there is the potential that we might be able to squeeze a trip to the moon out of this episode. It is going to be a late drop on the Sunday. I am so sorry that it came out late. I had the hardest time, if we're being honest, with this. I really wanted to set this up totally automated so that it was like a set it and forget it. But the oversight on how to regulate this temperature, and it's just, to be honest with you guys, like I've said multiple times throughout the series, I am no expert at all. But I really enjoy the challenge and the problem solving of coming up with these solutions. So our rigged up solution to just make our ethanol the same way is totally working enough to get us to space, and I should have just gone that way the first time. There are quite literally 2 20-minute clips of me walking you through building these setups in both of them, which, maybe I'll put out a bloopers of, hey, here's some bloopers of me setting these things up and see if you guys want to watch it. But, it just took time. And for that, I'm sorry that, this may have been a much more abbreviated walkthrough of this build. But I am just trying to do the best I can because I really am enjoying interacting with you guys in the comments and doing these daily uploads. They're a lot of fun. I should have automated stuff sooner, y'all. I just should have, and I didn't. So let's let this thing finish here. It's a shame that I didn't realize I had run out of polyethylene because now we're a little behind on that. But we're going to pause because I'm looking at my list, and unless I just egregiously missed something, I don't have anything else that I can craft with you off camera to get us ready. But once I get the space plating block in here, I will try to trim this down to just the stuff that we need, and then we'll find out if I'm right, because then if I'm right, you guys can take a look at this chest and know exactly what you need in your world. And that was kind of my goal, was to make sure that I'm preparing you guys for just how much you're going to have. It's a ton of resources. A lot of people in the forums, or not forums, you can tell how old I am, over in the Discord are basically talking about how space is really the first test of your ability to generate resources. How good is your resource gen? How good is your automation? So I have learned that my resource gen is kind of okay. My automation is the piece that I really need to work on. We should have been setting some of this stuff up automated, but it's kind of hard in the early game because you set things up one way and then you have to tear them down and do it again. And that's kind of like one of my Minecraft pet peeves is I really hate building something only to tear it apart and rebuild it again. So I'm going to pause here and then right over this way. So as you can tell, and for those of you who haven't figured it out, I'm just, every time I need more room, I'm making another island. So if we get all the way around back to our R's island and we need another one, we'll just start further out and keep making more little floating plots of land to build stuff on. You know, is it the most creative build? No. Is it what I'm doing? Yes. So give me a moment. I'm going to go slap us together an island with a cyclic builder, and we will meet over there at the Big Woolly Spaceport. Real quick, want to go over a couple things with you guys about the creative wand or any wand in general. Control-Shift, right-click into the air will open the menu, and you can turn on randomize, so it will take blocks in your hotbar and use them for any wand functions. And it's sort of hard to, you know, sometimes get the right angle, especially if you're on like none. So if you hold shift and scroll, you'll notice a whole bunch of options. So right here, build a horizontal column in front of the original block. Now, if you had this set with matching like it is by default, which is similar, then it won't like complete the whole row. It'll only do like the one. But if we come in here and we change that to any, with it on the horizontal mode, now it's going to randomize the whole row across with all the items out of our hotbar. Allows you to fill in an area like this and build yourself a new surface for an island in a hurry. Like you lay out your first row or let the machine do it, and we're going to be able to finish this off really quick. And, you know, it's an expert series, yada, 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 but I figure sharing these tips and tricks, it's how my channel is. And, you know, if there's people that don't like it, they'll go elsewhere. But I want to make sure you guys know like what I'm doing and how I'm doing it to make it quicker and easier for me. And oh gosh, we didn't spawn proof it. Zombies are coming to eat my brains. Ah, zombies, die, zombies, die, die. You die too. Yes, thank you. Okay, so we survived and we will get right here. And then the one thing we'll want to do to make sure that we keep our top of our platform safe, let's break through a hole and let's grab out some ferro flare lanterns right there. And then we can just toss a ferro flare lantern right underneath, put in a piece of cobble, and now should light up our platform so that we don't die. Hope that helps some of you guys. Well, it looks like the math on our space plating buckets was right. Or not space plating, our polyethylene buckets for the space plating was right, and we had just enough to make our 207. Now, as we head out to the island, we'll know whether our total calculations were right as we start with the miniaturization crafting and getting our stuff made. I have thought of one thing that is probably an oversight. I don't know that I calculated in the blocks for the oxygen loader that we're going to need to be able to breathe on the moon, so we may have to deal with that. But just so we can try to figure this out, let me grab out some packing tape. We'll take this chest over with us, and I'll meet you guys on our new empty spaceport. As you can see, I've put us a travel anchor over there so we can teleport out to our new spaceport. There is an entire space underneath here that we can definitely utilize for some machines and automation. Maybe we'll automate space fuel and whatnot down here. Not real sure. Today, my goal is, at this point, I think we're out of time to try and get to the moon, but maybe we can get the miniaturization crafting set up. We can start getting our rocket pieces together, and then we'll go to the moon on the next one, y'all, and start talking about the better resource gen we're going to be able to get after we have that Desh infused mesh. So we brought our block, our chest over. Let's put our stuff that we got out, our space plating blocks. Let's put all that in there. That should be more than the 207 we need. And by my envelope, empty envelope full of chicken scratch, we should, in theory, have everything we need for all of the rocket pieces. So let me grab out our... Oh, not the peat farm. We need to go to power. Let me grab out our NASA workbench and that. Let's make sure that we don't need to replace any peat. Looks like those are good. Oh, you are burning through some on this side. Let's fill you up. There we go. Filled our power back up. Everything here still working. We are out of latex, but this thing is making it as fast as we can use it, so that is good to go. We will let it keep doing. Do you have a cha-cha logs? You do. Sweet. And do you have power? You have power. Everything has what it needs. Cool. Back to our spaceport. Storage, spaceport. Here we go. So, miniaturization crafting. So the way this works is if we come and take a look at our rocket nose cone, it's going to tell you not a whole lot, that it just needs 4 field projectors. But if we hold W and look at a ponder, it's going to tell us how to set it up here. So it looks like they need to be 2 blocks off the ground all the way around how big is that center? Is it going to tell us? The schematic cannon like that, or place them down naturally. Okay. If you need to use schematic cannon, so it looks like that's a 5x5 in the middle. And if you use the schematic cannon, that's a key piece that right there. It says if you use the schematic cannon, you have to take out one of the blocks and place one block by hand, or it won't recognize it as a player placed block and will not proceed. That's what that tooltip just said for us right there. So grab our schematic cannon, let's get a few temporary blocks and see if we can't craft our components. All right, so back out on our spaceport here, we grabbed some blocks. I've laid down some dirt here just for a visual range so I can help get the rest of the blocks in the way. If we ponder these one more time, it shows them being, that looks 2 blocks out, dead center on each one. So that's what I'm trying to do right here. That's why I put the dirt down so I could know where the center was of our 5x5. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and then on the third, and then we put our field projector, and then we're going to do that on each of the sides. Now we can make these prettier later on. This is just to make sure we get everything where it goes. Okay, so now we can, all that's there. Let's clear out this. So that should be the right height. I'll grab some matching color blocks or maybe something more decorative in a minute. But the next thing it showed us that we could do is we could place the schematic cannon down for our various structures. So I'm going to put the table, the schematic cannon. We're going to grab out one of these empty shulker boxes, put that there. And then if we take the contents of this chest, we should be able to go through all of our schematics and have all the pieces we need. Unless Wooly's a liar. Now we're going to need some of the space plating to throw down to start the craft. Let's go see. First things first, we need a rocket fin. Let's try that one. Okay. And then we put the schematic in, tell it to write it. It writes it. We open our schematic cannon. We put it in. We need to set the position for the schematic. Okay. Right there. Should be right. And then we put it back in our schematic cannon with some gunpowder. And let's have it go. All right, like it said, we need to break one block and replace it. And then if we throw that at it, it's supposed to craft it. Yes? No? Nope, not working. Okay. Field projectors are all aimed right. Oh, are these too close? What was that about? Did y'all see that? What is it doing? All right, well, let me try to figure out why this isn't working. I always have the hardest time with these. Is there a specific block I need to, like, right-click it with? Is it one more block out the projectors need to be? Hold, please hold. All right, y'all. It looks like I had the distance wrong. So it's 3 blocks out from your 5x5 in the middle, not 2, and they need to be centered. And then once you get it the right height, you'll see it scanning back and forth. Then, in theory, according to all the ponder, I should just throw in that, and that should start our miniaturization crafting when it sees it there. Hopefully. Yes? No? Maybe so? It might be a case where it needs me to break a block and replace it. Nope, it's not doing it, y'all. Okay, y'all, figured that one out. Why it wasn't working is my feral flare lanterns. So if you light your platform with feral flare lanterns, you have to clear those light sources out of here or they will prevent miniaturization crafting from running. So let's get set up for the next one. Up next, according to the envelope checklist, nose cone. Let's pick it. Nose cone, schematic, check. Then we need to place it down. There, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Cool. And then it goes in the schematic cannon. Tell it to go. Go. As the tooltip says, we shall break one block, replace it, toss in our plating. Yes, yes. There we go. All right, nose cone. Next piece. What is the next one? The steel engine. Let's go for that. Rinse and repeat. I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if it's 3 and 3, then we're good on all the other directions. Be right back when this one's done. All right, again, break a block. Replace a block. Toss in a plating. Engine. Now we need to make 2 of the tanks. 2 of them. Not just one. Uno, dos. Rocket steel tank. Okay. We get to do you twice. There we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's right. Toss it in. Go gadget thingy. And it's making the first tank. I'm not going to unpause and show another one getting started and another one getting built, but we're going to do the tanks twice. There we have it. 1 tank. So you want to build a snowman? I mean rocket. Yeah. So here's the list. I'll read through it, click through it. You can pause if you need to get the materials. For the rocket, you will need 1 nose cone, 4 steel blocks, 4 of the fins, which is just 1 craft, 2 of the rocket tanks, which is 2 crafts, 1 of the rocket engine. For your rocket pieces, total, you will need 207 space plating blocks, which is 828 space plating, 103.5 buckets of polyethylene, and 207 steel sheet metal blocks. Then you're going to need 24 hardened glass, 54 dynamic tanks, 1 compressed air engine, 4 radiator blocks, 1 redstone engineering block, 5 light engineering blocks, 1 lightning rod, and 25 heavy engineering blocks. And then the one thing I left off is you are going to need 5 more space plating, because each of the crafts you kick off by tossing a space plating into the field for the miniaturization. You just throw it in there, and that's what kicks off the craft. So if you think you're ready to go to space, that list is going to be what you're going to need. Now, it's with a heavy heart, friends, that I tell you, as I look at the recording and it says I'm 39 minutes and 12 seconds worth of video, we're not going to space today. What we have left to cover next time is we are going to need to make our oxygen loader right here. We're going to need to craft up our rocket. We're going to need to craft up our launch pad. And we're going to need to mix up some fuel. So that is going to be the next episode, which we are very, very close to, but we have all the parts for our rocket. It's very exciting, and we're going to be able to unlock a ton of new resources. I hope today's episode was helpful for you. Sorry for the super late drop. It's going to be really late today, but I do want to get it out for you because I know some of you might just be wondering why there's not a video, and you can watch it tomorrow morning. And you may even get 2 videos in one day that way. So thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.